Welcome back to Today we will learn about the explosive confrontation brewing between Theo Carver and J.J. Devereaux that threatens to tear Salem apart in the most shocking way imaginable. The upcoming 2 weeks promise to deliver heart-stopping drama that will leave viewers absolutely stunned, as buried secrets and traumatic memories resurface with devastating consequences. The terrifying moment that changes everything. The atmosphere in Salem is about to become electrically charged with tension when Theo Carver experiences what can only be described as a psychological earthquake. The moment his eyes lock onto J.J. Devereaux wielding a police-issued firearm, Theo's world will come crashing down around him in the most traumatic fashion. This isn't simply a case of mild discomfort or casual unease. We're talking about pure, unadulterated terror that will course through Theo's veins like ice water. The sight of that gleaming metal weapon in JJ's hands will serve as a brutal catalyst, instantly transporting Theo back to the darkest chapter of his life. Every muscle in his body will tense with remembered agony. His breathing will become shallow and rapid, and the color will drain from his face as if he's seen a ghost from his most tortured nightmares. The psychological scars that Theo believed had finally begun to heal will suddenly rip open with fresh intensity, bleeding emotional pain that feels as raw and immediate as the day it first occurred. What makes this moment even more devastating is the complete unexpectedness of it all. Theo had been gradually rebuilding his sense of security and trust in the world around him, slowly learning to navigate daily life without constantly looking over his shoulder. But now, in one heart-stopping instant, all of that carefully constructed emotional stability will crumble like a house of cards in a hurricane. Jada's shocking discovery. Detective Princess Jada Hunter will find herself caught completely off guard when Theo approaches her with urgent warnings about JJ's return to active police duty. The intensity and desperation in Theo's voice will immediately alert Jada that something far more serious than a simple workplace concern is unfolding before her eyes. She'll witness firsthand the deep-seated trauma that continues to plague Theo, observing how his hands shake slightly when he speaks JJ's name, and how his eyes dart nervously around the room as if expecting danger to materialize at any moment. Jada's detective instincts will kick into overdrive as she processes the gravity of Theo's revelations. She'll begin to piece together the complex web of history between these two men, recognizing that the wounds from their past encounter run far deeper than anyone in Salem had previously understood. The professional in her will war with her personal feelings as she realizes she may be forced to choose between supporting her colleague JJ and protecting someone she cares about from further psychological harm. This revelation will also force Jada to confront uncomfortable questions about the police department's policies regarding officers involved in shooting incidents. She'll wonder whether adequate counseling and support were provided to all parties involved, and whether the department's eagerness to move past the incident may have inadvertently created a ticking time bomb that's now ready to explode. The haunting memories of that fateful day. The original shooting incident between JJ and Theo represents one of the most tragic cases of being in the wrong place at the wrong time in Salem's recent history. When JJ discharged his weapon in the line of duty, striking Theo, it wasn't just a single moment of violence. It was the beginning of a complex psychological trauma that would echo through both their lives for years to come. For Theo, the physical wounds eventually healed, but the emotional and mental scars continued to fester like an infection that refused to respond to treatment. Every time Theo encounters law enforcement officers in their official capacity, subtle triggers activate deep within his subconscious mind. The sight of a uniform, the sound of a radio crackling with dispatcher communications, even the distinctive smell of leather holsters can transport him back to that terrible moment when his life hung in the balance. But nothing, absolutely nothing, compares to the visceral terror that washes over him when he sees an officer with their weapon drawn and ready. The incident has also shaped Theo's worldview in profound ways, making him hypervigilant about potential threats and constantly analyzing the motivations and reliability of those around him. He's developed an almost supernatural ability to sense tension and danger, which has served him well in some situations but has also made it difficult for him to form trusting relationships with new people. JJ's desperate attempt at reconciliation. During the pivotal week of September 22nd to 26th, J.J. Devereaux will make what he believes to be a sincere and heartfelt attempt to bridge the chasm that exists between himself and Theo. Armed with good intentions and genuine remorse, JJ will approach Theo with carefully rehearsed words of apology and a desperate hope that they can finally put their troubled past behind them once and for all. However, JJ's perspective on their relationship exists in a completely different universe from Theo's reality. While JJ has convinced himself that enough time has passed and that they've both moved on from the incident, he's fundamentally misreading the depth of Theo's ongoing trauma. JJ's assumption that a simple apology and some friendly conversation can erase years of psychological suffering demonstrates a troubling lack of awareness about the lasting impact of his actions. The conversation between them will be layered with subtext and unspoken tension. JJ will interpret Theo's polite responses as signs of forgiveness and healing, completely missing the carefully controlled anger simmering just beneath the surface. Theo, meanwhile, will struggle to maintain his composure while every fiber of his being screams in protest at having to engage in pleasantries with the person who fundamentally altered his sense of safety in the world. The revenge plot that could destroy everything. Beneath Theo's seemingly calm exterior, a storm of rage and determination is brewing that threatens to consume everything in its path. The sight of JJ back on active duty, armed and potentially dangerous, has awakened something dark and calculating within Theo's psyche. No longer content to simply avoid JJ or suppress his feelings, Theo is now actively plotting a course of action that could have catastrophic consequences for everyone involved. Theo's ultimate goal extends far beyond simple personal satisfaction. He wants to systematically dismantle JJ's law enforcement career piece by piece until the man has no choice but to surrender his badge permanently. This isn't just about evening the score. It's about ensuring that JJ never again has the opportunity to traumatize another innocent person the way he traumatized Theo all those years ago. The methods Theo might employ in his revenge scheme could range from subtle psychological manipulation to more direct confrontational tactics. He might begin by documenting every minor mistake JJ makes on the job, building a case for incompetence or recklessness. Alternatively, he could work to undermine JJ's relationships with fellow officers and supervisors, gradually isolating him within the department until his position becomes untenable. The dangerous escalation nobody sees coming. What makes Theo's revenge plan particularly dangerous is his intimate knowledge of police procedures and protocols, combined with his ability to appear completely reasonable and trustworthy to outside observers. He understands exactly which buttons to push and which pressure points to target to achieve maximum impact while maintaining plausible deniability for his actions. The psychological chess match between these two men will play out against the backdrop of Salem's daily life, with neither Jada nor anyone else fully grasping the extent of the manipulation and countermanipulation occurring right under their noses. Each move Theo makes will be calculated for maximum effectiveness, designed to slowly but inevitably force JJ into a corner from which there may be no escape. As the tension continues to build, the question isn't whether this powder keg will explode. It's whether anyone will be able to recognize the warning signs and intervene before both men destroy themselves and everyone they care about in the process. Next, we will learn about the upcoming twists and turns that are set to shake Salem between September 15th and September 26th. The next 2 weeks are packed with romance, betrayal, family drama, and a few surprising alliances that could forever change the fates of beloved characters. First, let's begin with Jada Hunter, played by Elia Cantu. Viewers will see her caught off guard when JJ Devereaux, portrayed by Casey Moss, approaches her with a stern warning. What JJ has to say will not only leave Jada unsettled, but will also force her to reconsider the choices she has been making. The conversation promises to raise questions about who can be trusted in Salem, and whether Jada's instincts have been steering her down a dangerous path. Fans should prepare for sparks of tension and suspicion that could echo across several storylines. Meanwhile, E.J. DiMera, embodied by Dan Feuerriegel, will find himself forming an unexpected connection with newcomer Kat Green, played by Annalyn McCord. E.J., who is often seen as ruthless and calculating, begins to reveal a softer, more vulnerable side during his interactions with Kat. Their bond may seem harmless at first, but Salem residents know all too well that every new relationship comes with hidden motives and complicated consequences. Could this be the beginning of a romance, or just another strategic alliance in EJ's endless quest for power? Time will tell, but their growing closeness is bound to rattle more than a few cages in town. On the family front, Young Thomas DiMera, Carrie Christopher, will put his father, Chad DiMera, Billy Flynn, in an uncomfortable position with a rather awkward question. While the nature of the question hasn't been fully revealed, viewers can expect it to touch on sensitive family issues, possibly relating to Abigail's memory or Chad's current romantic entanglements. This small but powerful moment will once again highlight how even the youngest Salemites can bring unspoken truths to the surface, forcing adults to confront what they'd rather leave buried. As the week of September 15th to 19th unfolds, Sarah Kyriakis, Lindsay Godfrey, will take center stage when she attends Victoria Kyriakis, played by Amelia and Kennedy Heilman, birthday party. What should have been a simple celebration turns into a pivotal moment for Sarah. At the party, she begins to see a different side of Xander Kyriakis, Paul Telfer, a man she has loved, lost, and betrayed. The occasion allows her to witness Xander's softer and more genuine qualities, reminding her of the man she once believed he could be. Complicating matters further, Philip Kyriakis, Jean-Paul Lavoisier, continues his campaign of deception. Once again, Philip tells Sarah that Xander was not the one responsible for his injuries, spinning another web of lies to manipulate her emotions. Philip's dishonesty adds another layer of confusion to Sarah's already conflicted heart, leaving her torn between the truth she suspects and the lies she is being fed. Salem viewers know that whenever Philip inserts himself into the mix, drama is never far behind. Eventually, Sarah takes the difficult step of approaching Xander directly. She asks for his forgiveness, a gesture that could open the door to a possible reconciliation. Yet the path back to romance is far from simple. Xander, still reeling from Sarah's past betrayal, struggles to let go of his mistrust. While part of him longs to believe in her sincerity, another part fears history will only repeat itself. The question that lingers in the air is whether Sarah's shifting feelings are enough to heal the wounds between them. Will Xander allow his heart to trust her again, or will his pain harden him beyond repair? Their storyline promises an emotional roller coaster, one that explores the timeless themes of love, betrayal, and the possibility of second chances. As the days ahead unfold, Salem residents will find themselves at crossroads where decisions carry heavy consequences. Whether it's Jada grappling with JJ's warning, EJ navigating his bond with Kat, Chad handling Thomas's difficult questions, or Sarah and Xander testing the limits of forgiveness, every twist is designed to keep viewers on the edge of their seats. So buckle up, because the next 2 weeks of Days of Our Lives are set to deliver drama that is both heartfelt and explosive. Fans can expect romance, heartbreak, and shocking revelations that could reshape relationships and shift the balance of power in Salem.